It's a Miles City saddlery, made in 1916. I have all the provenance on it. It was ordered from the Elgin feed store in Elgin, Illinois. And he special ordered it. This is a cog shell number 4. And the original lady has her bandolero closed. He ordered it with it open. Okay, so guess what? I was looking in the cabinet the other day, well, it was a couple of months ago, looking for something to read. And what did I find? A Miles City saddle catalog from 1914.
Oh my, how much did it sell for then?
$65.
Uh-huh.
I paid $8,500 for that saddle. Okay. It was well used, you can tell. I mean, it was ridden. Okay, the saddle was ridden, but look at the rest of it. He must have slept with it every night. I don't know. It's all, that is all, and this has been documented by the Gene Autry Museum, the Cowboy Hall of Fame in Oklahoma City. Pictures taken of it. Okay.
Unbelievable.
$65.
Well, in 1914, that $65 would have been
Was a lot of money.
big price.
A lot of money.
And you were able to
that's
purchase it from whom?
From a collection in Idaho, Pocatello, Idaho. The lady that had it, her husband, it's quite a story. He migrated from Germany. At a young age, he started watching Western movies over in Germany, and he just wanted to be a cowboy. So he came over on his own when he was 14, and he became a professional chef in Chicago. And they bought a ranch out of Pocatello, Idaho, and he was going to build a really fine restaurant, fine cuisine, and he was going to have all this really nice Western stuff. They looked for 2 years. They shopped for spurs, saddles, anything Western to go in that restaurant. And he died, but I don't know why. She didn't tell me. I really had a pretty good relationship with her, because I talked to her several times. I dealt with her for 2 years. I finally bit the bullet. And she had a bunch of really fine stuff, a lot of money, big high dollar stuff. Yeah. These here are unique in their own right. These are Mexican saddlebags. Okay, see this is wire braided. They used to do it in actual silver and gold. They actually braid that wire right in to the leather.
Resolution is cool.
You bet. It's called Padera, I believe. Let me look here. I've got. See, those are pretty neat.
Yeah, they are.
But it's called Petito. And that's the kind of weaving they started out doing it with the fiber of the yucca, and it's made in a certain part out of Mexico. Yeah, Chihuahua actually. And then they started doing it with silver and gold, and then this is just a wire of some sort. But how in the hell did they braid that in there?
Yeah, I mean, it's so fine on the edges here.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you look close, the wire braided in there is more fine than the stitches that it took to sew the leather together. That's what's amazing, is that it's a fine twist, and that they twisted it probably just the exact number of turns for the length, so that they didn't over twist it and the wire would then break because it's so fine.
Right. I took these to a saddle shop. They weren't in this good a condition. He conditioned the leather. Some of the conchos were gone, so he shot for over a year going to shows and stuff, trying to find an original concho, or as close to it as you could get, okay? But Mexico's the only one that had the long saddlebags like that.
It's just cool that there's like a pocket on the inside of
Yeah.
them.
Right.
Yeah, cause most of them don't have a.
No.
With a
Yeah, this is
lid
a-
on top, I'd say.
Yeah, they'd have a pocket right here
Yeah,
that you opened
yeah.
up. Yeah. You like my dog or what? Ruby says,
I think
somebody's paying attention.
she loves him.
So I'm with the Cowboy Hall of Fame, Wyoming Cowboy Hall of Fame, just started 2 years ago.
Okay.
And so they elected me the chairman of the, not only are they going to bring in old cowboys into the Cowboy Hall of Fame, but they want to bring in saddle makers, spur makers, horsehair,
Western.
stuff that was made in Wyoming. So that's what I'm supposed to be doing, is looking for stuff that was made in Wyoming, saddles, and it'll be a museum eventually, probably in Gillette. So this here saddle, that's a Blake Miller out of Cheyenne, Wyoming, and he left there in '29 and moved it to Colorado. So it was between 1900, 1910, 1929 that saddle was made.
Number 107.
Do they still make saddles in Sheridan? No, they don't.
King Ranch still, King Rope. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Beautiful work on it.
It is, yeah. I wanted to show you these moccasins. I bought these from Marguerite Larkland. She had a trading post. These were given to her by Josie Warshicki, who was that was his daughter-in-law.
Oh.
She was married to his son, and she took care of him up till when he died. And she gave these to Marguerite. They'd go over every year and make pemmican. And now I don't know how old they are, but they're beautiful. And you know, they got that mustard color on them.
Yep.
They weren't worn
I
often.
was going to say, can show me the bottom of them.
Yeah,
They were
put a
worn
nice-
some, but
a
not.
nice sole on them.
Yep. Look at those beautiful silver buttons.
Yeah. Yeah, these are kind of my pride and joy.
I would imagine.
So I have what I have in here. Yeah.
Yep.
Belonged to Josie Worski. I need to correct that. It says sister-in-law. It would be daughter-in-law of Chief Worski, given by Marguerite Barkman. She thought that Josie gave them to her about 1955. Okay.
What about that big pot down in the bottom? What's the?
That's Yakima. And I don't know a lot about it, but I have two of them made by the same person, Irene Stevens, and they're both about this size.
Mm-hmm.
But I just cannot find much about her. And you know, a lot of these potters, you can Google them and they're there. This is Maria. You've heard of Maria?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think I remember you telling me more about this before, and I've forgotten more than I can remember.
I didn't have Maria. I got this 2 years ago when I was down in Blanding. You know, they're just so damn expensive. You just
Then it was another one that you guys had that was
Nampeo.
yeah,
That's the one we showed you
Nampeo.
out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, all these prints, these are Till Gooden. And these prints were done in 1950. There were 6 of them. And he was an illustrator. And of course, he was from Arizona, which most of his substance in Arizona. I got the authentication from his daughter on the back of them. Let me show you this is
We've had this one for a long time.
And
Long time.
I don't think, that's one of those pictures that, a guy was just traveling through, selling office decor. Actually, it was in the 1980s when I bought that for the office in Dickinson.
Mm-hmm. What about these two over here?
He's a local Arapaho artist. You're gonna ask me his name, and I can't read it, and I can't remember. I've got other pieces by him.
They're simplistic, but they're cool.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Look how that buffalo skull's sticking up there.
Yep. This is really a great piece.
Yeah, it is.
That's called the Buffalo Thunder Dancer. And she made that for a casino in Santa Fe.
Mm-hmm.
The Buffalo Thunder Casino. They commissioned her to make it, and for some reason they sent it back to her, according to her. And I asked, why they sent it back? Well, you can't question the governor of the Pueblo. He sends it back. You don't question him. So I ended up with it, but that's a beautiful piece.
Yes, it is. It's amazing.
These are G.S. Garcia spurs. He was at Elko, Nevada. Highly collectible.
Yeah, I remember seeing that the ones that have the more, what are these tines on there? Trowels.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And how I got these is, a lot of his spurs go for 20, 30, 40,000. He's dead. And the same gal I got the saddle from, she had some, and I said, have you got any other G.S. Garcia spurs? I said, I just can't, I can't afford 10,000.
Right.
She says, I've got a working pair of spurs, and she sold them to me for 1,500, which I thought,
You hit the jackpot.
Hell yes. Right. This is a Frank Olzar out of Gillette, Wyoming. And he left in 1919 and moved his shop to Tucson. So it's somewhere between 1900 and 1919. Those are Dad's old spurs. Yeah. Different leather on them, but that's his spurs that I remember him having since I was a little kid.
I remember him roping.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is where they stamped.
Yeah, see it?
Mm-hmm.
Frank Olzar,
Gotcha.
Gillette, Wyoming. I had a guy that's supposed to be building the cabinets across there, full weight of glass, under glass, paid for material and everything, he still hasn't done. I took that in. An Indian from Crowheart came to my office when I had it over here and pawned this to me, and never did come back. Well, Nathaniel Barney is a local Shoshone Indian. Okay, that could be pretty interesting to you there. Scott Ratliff gave this to me. He didn't think it was anything, and I didn't either. And I finally just framed it about 2 years ago. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But this is white nose fox. At any rate, this was published by Greeno, by F.W. Greeno, Philadelphia. Drawn, printed, and colored at L.T. Bowen's Lithograph, establishment number 94 Walnut Street. Entered according to Act of Congress in the year of 1836 by W.F. Greeno in the clerk's office at the District Court of the Eastern District of Penn.
Wow.
That's a little age to it,
Yeah.
hasn't it?
Yeah.
That's all hand tinted. You can see where even then they dropped. That's a drop of paint.
Right, where it
Mm-hmm.
just a tiny bit came down.
And whoever he got it from had it someplace and had a photo up there in the corner.
Yep, you can see where it's stained.
Mm-hmm. 1836.
1836.
Did you ever see that bag?
This
You know
one
what it is?
looks like a flag case. That looks like something from Pakistan.
I don't know where in hell we got it. It's a pillowcase.
It is. I got them in Pakistan when I was there. Yeah, Marlis has one. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it looks like a flag.
It's a
Is
coffin
it-
flag bag.
Okay.
Can I look
Alan,
at
how
that?
cool
One
is
of
that?
These gloves,
You betcha. These are
they're not beaded, they're not
they're
beaded, are they?
embroidered. They're your kind of
Yeah.
glove. They did. I tried to buy them when I can find them because they didn't last, Marlis. But they
Because I
started.
looked at that at first and I thought, my God, that's little beads, and the more I looked at it, well, it's bloody beads.
They started embroidery. The Indians did before they started beading. The nuns came over and
Oh, yeah.
and did that.
Yeah, I can see where it's embroidery all right.
Right.
And I can understand the stitch they did, but man, they're little and they're certainly precise. But I would imagine the kind of a needle they had to do that with. That's pretty snazzy. Yeah, you know, I do a little beadwork, but I don't do
And some people thought it was done on a machine,
Machine because it's so
I
precise.
don't-
but look at the back. See what you think by the.
No, they sewed it on. Let's see, wait a minute. Well, that's like they quilted it on after it was done. Well, you'd have to see. Oh dear, I don't know, just be careful, cause that's giving away right there, that's just thread there, right now.
Turn that over.
But you can't.
I think that's probably from the 50s, maybe 60s, maybe even 70s. I don't know. It might have been in Vietnam. I got it at a pawn shop in Lander many years ago. And probably some granny made that for, son that
For
was, died in the war or died somewhere, and then somebody pawned it.
Yeah, it could have been something, from World War II
Yeah.
era.
And you can't count stars because they don't.
They don't
it's
Right,
done.
doesn't-
No.
They don't count.
Teddy made those. She was a beater. She had this old Matisse pattern when we got together, and she said she always wanted to make make some. And so I drew the flower on, she beaded it, and she actually, cut the gloves out, sewed them together.
And she beaded it right on the leather, didn't
Yeah,
she?
oh yeah. We probably cut up an expensive Pendleton blanket for the liner.
Well, yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Well, they keep you warm.
Oh,
wouldn't
they
Oh,
would.
yeah.
Yeah, she was really she was a good beater. Those are old beads. That's an old chevron, called a chevron bead.
Yeah, this is.
This is kind of neat. This is
Oh,
rattle. What do you think this is?
A skin of some sort of
Some
a
baby.
stomach.
It's a
maybe.
buffalo scrotum.
Is it a scrotum? Ah.
That's really old.
What did they put in here,
5 little rocks.
you think? What's the symbolic?
I don't know. I wish
Measure
I
of the
knew.
sun
It's a
like
spider,
that.
I believe. I believe it's a spider. It's got a little medicine bag on it.
Mhm.
It is really old. Warren Spriggs that had Fort Auger over in Lander. I don't know if you ever, years ago, he had that in his shop. And I wanted that one thing so bad. A big arrowhead he had. So I did a little surveying for him. He had some property out of Lander. He wanted the boundary done. So I got him.
You You did a good trade, huh?
Yes, yes.
Quite sure how you had all this in there.
And ladies' gloves, yeah, just lay them down a little bit.
And then these are cuffs.
Sure. Probably from
Leggings or, well, no cuffs.
Cuffs, yeah. Probably from like the 101 Rodeo Club, maybe even the Buffalo Bill. That's the era.
Fancy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful. Those gloves are Eskimo.
So that's probably seal fur.
Yeah,
think
but fox
rather
eye, I don't know what kind of fur it is, but those are old. Look at the little beads. They haven't been used. The gloves have never been used, but look how small those beads are.
Tiny, tiny.
Yeah. I've got some stuff up at DuBois, Tom Lucas's gallery. He's got some pretty good beadwork that I got for sale. Let me show you the rest of the
Tom Lucas is a rather interesting man, isn't he?
He is, yeah. We went,
I remember one time we came to Historical Society, and this has been probably 5-6 years ago, or maybe longer now,
right.
and showed us how to make a bow
Oh,
with,
yes.
big
horn sheep.
horn. That was pretty interesting.
Well, what I did is he gave me one. He had gotten a divorce and then found Tammy, new wife, and they had nothing. And he moved an old 100-year-old cabin into Lander and set on his property. They didn't have any money. Teddy and I just remodeled a little house out there. So we had all the cabinets, the sinks, countertops, everything fit right in under the place. Just take them, Tom. Like, we're not, you know, how the hell we ever gonna do with them? Well, about a month later, he sent it to my office with this big one sheet bow. Gave it to him. And that's the one that he shot up at the Buffalo Bill Museum. Edgar that had Old Town got him up there, and they had a demonstration on that bow, and so they used a radar detector and measured how fast. It was like 170 feet per second, 200 feet per second. And that's the bow he used, the bow and the arrow. And then, I knew he always had one more bow. His first bow he ever made. And he told me he had sold it to Margaret Barp, and Margaret said she had it, but she wouldn't ever, she wouldn't sell it. Well, she died, and then here a couple of years ago, one of her grandkids called me and said, we got some beadwork, and we have this bow. We're not sure what it is. And I'm thinking, holy shit, And so I ended up buying stuff from him, and I called Tom and said, I think I found your first bow. And so I took it up to him, and he authenticated it and put number 1 on it.
That is amazing how stuff finds its way to you, RJ.
I know it, yeah.
How did you first meet Tom?
Well, we just moved to Lander, Teddy and I did, and I was, what's that little creek when you turn up Milford? What creek is that? And I was just driving around, and I went back in there, and here's this little sign, Lucas Gallery or something. And he was working out of his house then. And he had a little one-room cabin up there that he used for his gallery, and that's where it all started from.
Wow, you guys just hit it off.
We just hit it off. And,
He's a unique little guy.
yeah, it really is. What you see is what he gets. It was so funny that the governor really warmed up to him. Okay, I mean, he liked it. Because Tom has gone to Harold. he had his cowboy hat on, and his bandana, and his boots, and he looked good, but he had this suit coat that the arms came down to about here. It would have hit me, I think. Didn't bother him a bit, he was dressed up. And then, but the governor just kinda took him,
Loved that.
just loved him. So the other two people that was inducted, one was out of Cheyenne, and a guy out of Jackson, was pretty uppity. And so Tom was the first one up there, and he just got up there, and people just loved him. You know,
He's
he was
authentic.
authentic. He was just
Yeah,
authentic.
he
Yeah.
don't put on any
He
airs, I
just
don't
know
think.
this is the way it is. What you see is what you get. People they just loved him, and the other two, you know, they were a little bit.
Yeah, a little more up
A
and
Yeah,
little,
right,
a little
right.
more proud of himself
Exactly,
than he was
exactly.
probably.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, but it would make a good place for somebody to live in.
Mm-hmm.
Damn sure.
And I guess your pride and joy is under the cover over there, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to sell that thing too. Yeah. He still